So I woke up this morning on a pity party, and it needs to be addressed as such. Like self-pity needs to be addressed, rebellion needs to be addressed. When I don't want to do something, occurs, then that needs to be addressed. There's a lot of things concurrent to that. The first thing is that time isn't even real. The body isn't real. Matter is just vibrating sound, and I'd like to do a video about that eventually. That'd be cool. The past is depression, the future is anxiety. So this whole frame of like, I want pleasure, I don't want pain, I want to do what I like to do, I don't want to do what I don't want to do, I want to stall out because I'm not getting my way. That's the root of envy. That's the root of why we're in the material world. And like, you could justify it any way you want, like, but it's basically like, sulking. It's like thinking that you deserve something because of either what happened in your past, or because you're virtuous, or because you're not as dumb as everyone around you, or because you're smarter. It all just comes down to self-pity, So I started this job that I'm not like extremely excited about at all. It's actually definitely not in my trajectory of frequency. But it's short-lived, and if there's karma sustained from like dealing with dead animals and serving, it's just bizarre that people are ordering dead animals, and I'm like, all right, here's your dead animal, so I'm connected in their karma for sure. Like, I'm definitely, but who gives a shit, right? Like, I mean, technically, like, I should give a shit if I was more sincere, for the pleasure of God, not to be dealing with dead animals. But that's my path. There's some sort of like attachment to making more money this way than there would be, working 40 hours a week for minimum wage or something, working with kids, which is still on the table actually. So I'm still actually considering that. This may be short-lived, but so that's kind of the thing. It's like, you can do whatever you want, man, for the most part. But is it pleasing to God? Because that's where your actual joy is going to be, So as I say that, I feel like the biggest hypocrite, but it's part of the process, to kind of slide back a little bit maybe and investigate how that feels and where your ethics are with it. But like, the main thing is like not to have self-pity. And it's easy to have self-pity. I was talking with my homie Køerner last night for like 3 hours. Shout out. And I forgot my train of thought. We talked about a whole range of things, but basically the thing that was really exciting to me is that, like, man, there's like 700 billionaires in the US, and they're all approachable for the most part. Like, they have a business identity, a business holding, a business address. You could send them a postcard and be like, hey man, like, I'm looking for like a fine art residency, and I need $100,000 for a year, and I'm going to focus on this body of work, and here's my work, and I just can't focus on it because, I just, whatever, I didn't go to school, I didn't focus on business, I'm not business oriented. Think about the Medicis, the sponsors of the artists back, a couple 100 years ago, 500 years ago, the Rembrandts, the Vermeers, like, they had sponsors, like, culture wanted them to paint. It was like, it was important, so basically, whatever you want to do, we were talking about the $1 million plan, right? Like, it starts at the $1 million plan. Like, what would you do if all your bills were paid for? Like, for real. If you could and you can get this crazy grant from a billionaire, or have them infuse money into your project, like, what would you do? Because you only have so much time in a week. You only have so much time in a month. So you're going to have to make concessions. You're going to have to make sacrifices. So, like, oh, I just want to travel around the world and eat delicious things and see beautiful things and like go on adventures, and it's like, that's dope. But here's the thing, if it's self-centered, you're gonna get going on that, and it's gonna dry out really quick. You're gonna be like, yeah, this isn't like all that exciting, because you're not creating service for other people, which is really where the joy is. So like, that's gonna evolve. Like, all right, so you might travel for a while, and then like, you're like, okay, well, maybe I could do some travel documentation, or maybe, you could do vlogging or something. I was watching a video with Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, who I like a lot, and he's like, yeah, I made a bunch of money, and then I spent 3 years with my wife traveling around the world, and then I got back to work. So it's like, that wasn't enough, you know? And he realized that, and he realized he enjoyed making business deals. So people have to frame that self-pity is not, like, warranted, you know? Like, the problem is that we're capped. Like, we are conditioned to think that we can't really fulfill our dreams, that we have to be wage slaves. This concept is programmed in public school and universities that, like, nope, it's not practical, you know? Just hope for a little retirement money, hope for a nice house, hope for a car that you own, and then, like, you know, just be comfortable. And, like, that's what's sold to people. And so they don't live to their potential, they don't serve to their potential, they don't realize their gifts and their skills and their abilities. They just live selfishly. They live mediocre, selfish, comfortable lives, and that's garbage, man. That's dog shit, you know? Now, I definitely haven't lived a comfortable life. I mean, in some ways I have, but, like, I don't know, I'm ready to risk, like, austerity to help people. So I really need to kind of concentrate on, like, dude, what is that? What would I do if I had all the resources and all the time in the world? And I do. Like, how would that look? What would that year look like? What would 5 years look like? What would I want to build? Who would I want to serve? And so when you actually land on that frequency, you get excited because, like, dude, like, you figured it out, you know? Or you can pivot, or you can change your mind. But dude, like, literally everything is available to you. Like, everything. Like, billions of dollars is available to you. Like, you want to be a real estate magnate and have 17,000 properties? Like, you can do that. Like, I guarantee you, if you put enough, like, effort into it, and you just start, like, messaging millionaire, billionaire real estate agents, and you're like, yo, like, I need $100,000 loan, or, like, you know, if you had that much audacity, you would get your money. If there is a will, there is a way. Like, you just got to be smarter. Like, what do you want to do? You want to just be a wage slave and save money and just work, like, as a peon? Or do you want to go to the guy that's, like, 10 times richer than the guy that owns the business you're working for and be like, yo, you're a billionaire, and I see how this is a waste of time. Can you just flip me, like, 100,000, and, like, I'm gonna fucking fulfill this cool shit? I'm gonna, like, spend an entire year working on, like, you know, a body of work, like music, art, whatever you want. You could sponsor me, like, you know, I'll give you back income from proceeds of the sales. I'll use some of that 100,000 for marketing to get some social media attention. I mean, dude, people have a shit ton of money, and they're just like, yeah, I've got so much money, but nobody with enough balls to come up to me and ask for it, or ask to partner with me. And they're living in a stale environment, man. They're not living with artists for the most part. They're living with, like, fucking greedy people that just want to make a lot of money, and get a lot of things, and have a lot of power, and, you know, like the basic materialist, right? Like, the basic atheist is like, oh, lots of money, lots of power, lots of sex, lots of food, you know, just, like, boring, because you're selfish. So, like, these people at the top, they're like, dude, I wish I had a brilliant artist come through and just chill with me, man, like, for real, like, and not a sold out, like satanic, you know, compromised artist who is, you know, like, bought and sold into some fucking occultic initiation. We're not talking about that shenanigans. We're talking about real motherfuckers that are, like, really trying to spread love and joy and truth, you know? So, dude, this whole bullshit of waking up and, like, oh, Mom, I have to go to work, I gotta go to this job. You don't have to go to that job, bitch. Like, money is just, everything's an idea. It's all vibrating sound. It's all frequency. You can get whatever you want. Like, but if your consciousness is just to be selfish, you would never be satisfied. But you can get all the shit. So, like, you know, truly spiritual people, they're kind of caught in purgatory, right? Like, they haven't quite broken out of their envy. They want their, you know, they're still conditioned. Like I was talking to Køerner about, like, it's like, we're looking at all the pieces of shit, right? Like, it's kind of a wild analogy, but basically people that are gridders, right? Caught in the grid, selfish, materialistic. And we're sitting here, we're judging all of them and assessing their value comparative to us. But, like, we're still in the shitty swamp. Like, we're still nose deep in the shitty swamp, looking around, judging all the other pieces of shit that are in the shitty swamp, the shitty swamp. And then, lo and behold, over on the grass in the beautiful park are the people that broke out of that paradigm of lack, of, like, wage slavery, of, like, having to work hard for your stuff and just investing and da-da-da-da. None of that's necessary, man. It's OPM, it's other people's money. You can get that. They will give it to you. It is out there. You can get whatever the fuck you want. So that's wild. So that's my tip, is just, I'm fucking so done of being a little bitchy bitch and just being on a pity party and sulking and, oh, I just can't, oh, this isn't working out, and why is it so hard, and I can't get enough attention on social media, and I'm so talented, how come people aren't buying my stuff, blah, 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 blah. It's be bitch, because you are conditioned by, like, Rockefeller, by media and social consciousness and public schools and everything, and the media and politicians. It's a big fucking sham. And that's why, like, I really don't like settling down into grid life with all the gritters, because it just fucks with my head. It's like, it's depressing to, like, be on the same track as all the gritters. But dude, you want to get off that track, go find people. Dude, 700 billionaires in the United States, they all speak English, bro. Just send them all a postcard. It's $200 to send a postcard to every billionaire in the United States, dude. It just and here we are, like, ooh, I just gotta work at, like, gotta work at Office Max, gotta work at fucking Old Navy, just gotta make that money, gotta pay that rent. Dude, it's tragic. Like, all your beauty and your ability is just, like, squandered because, like, you haven't accepted that you can do what you want to do. Like, the resources are there. And what that really comes down to is anger at God. It's like there's inception levels of envy and anger and fear, and it all comes down to envy of God, you know. And some of the demons, I call them the brilliant and dumb demons. Some of the brilliant demons, like, they're really working it out, man, and they're living lavishly and opulently, materialistically speaking. And the dumber demons are just kind of like on grid life, having a relatively shitty experience. So it's kind of like, it is whatever you want, man. You can have that sensual life, which is hollow, or you can have a life of service. But you have to start with that, like, fully high frequency frame of, like, I can, like, dude, God is my guy. Like, he's my friend. He'll give me anything I need to, like, fulfill this mission, to help people or to bring beauty in the world. And it's like, dude, like, the idea that you got to be a wage slave is fucking bonkers and not true. And just like, what? You got to be a slave for this guy? Like, I mean, it's comical that I'm going into this business selling dead animals. I'm just like, this is so surreal, bro. Like, this is the lowest. Like, this is, like, what are you doing? Like, you don't need to do this. You just need to communicate. And that was the other vibe that I was on, is like, divide and conquer is a thing, like social distancing and fucking whatever the bullshit phrase is of making you stay inside your house. I forgot because I wasn't paying attention, missed that one. They don't want us, like, talking to each other. So I'm trying to start a group, maybe on Facebook, maybe not, called fucking Millionaire Club, dude, where we all come through and we have our $1 million ideas and we stay in touch. We have to stay in touch, man. High frequency people have to touch down with at least one high frequency person every fucking day. It's an AA group. You know, this shit is serious, dude. Like, we need to check in daily and get support from like the homies, dude. The anti-gritters, dude. Like, the ones that are really artistic and trying to do, like, ill shit. It's too easy to get broken down and then fall into the pity party because everyone around you is fucking nuts, dude. And they're all gridded out. For the most part, they're all selfish. They're all stuck in this wage slavery of this comfort trap. And it's just like, yo, like, you look around the landscape and this shit is barren. And you're just like, ugh. You gotta be really strong to, like, punch through that. And trying as a motherfucker, man. Got alarms set, waking up at 5 in the morning, stronger habits. So I'm on the way, man. And I had that epiphany about reaching out to those billionaires, dude. And it's not gonna be long, man. It's coming. It's coming. Like, high frequency shit is coming, which is exciting. So that's the vibe, man. Self-pity, no bueno. It's nobody's fault. Get your shit together. Go out and get it, man. Go out and talk to people. Go out and tell them what you need. Like, ask for it. And it's out there. But first, figure out what you really want. Like, the highest frequency thing. Like, what you want to be. What do you want to do? You want to open a wolf sanctuary? Like, whatever you want. You want to open 20 of them? Like, go do it. Go ask for it, man. You ask and you shall receive. I swear to God, that's a biblical verse for a reason. Like, it will be provided on the strength of the frequency. I'm out.